Right now, it's time to round up one of the biggest topics of the week. Lawmakers heard testimony from people who want a statewide ban on texting and driving in Texas. The proposed Alex Brown Memorial Act is named after a teen killed in West Texas after texting and driving. Violating the law would land you a $1,000 fine or possible jail time. Texas is one of only 6 states that doesn't have a statewide ban on texting while driving. Opponents argue the ban infringes on drivers' rights. So will emotional testimony persuade Texas lawmakers to pass a ban or not? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you. You can check out our Fox 26 Facebook page, weigh in on the post that's there, or send a tweet. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26for Life. Joining us live in the newsroom is our Fox 26 senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and conservative blogger, Debbie Fancha. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, so what do you think? Will this testimony finally be what needs to happen for lawmakers to pass a ban?
Well, you know, they passed it in 2011, and Governor Perry vetoed it, saying it infringed on, what was the exact quote? It's micromanaging adult driving behavior. In the wake of the same type of testimony that texting while driving is as dangerous as drinking while driving, and so it got through. The question is will Governor Abbott sign it, who is now using and used throughout the campaign the same type of language that Governor Perry used in saying, I'm vetoing this bill because I'm not going to micromanage the people of the state of Texas. I disagree with that. And I also disagree that it ought to be a $1,000 fine and jail time for your first offense. That's the first I heard of that right now. And I think that's a little bit much on this, but we'll see. I think it's going to make it out, Sally. I just don't know if the governor's going to sign it. We're going to introduce Debbie Fancher in for Jackie Valley. Thank you for joining us. You had nothing to do at 4 o'clock this morning, I guess.
Thank you. I guess not. Here I am.
So we'll just start with you. It looks like Tom Craddock might get this through to the governor this time. Do you think Governor Abbott's going to sign it?
I don't think he's going to sign it, but I think he should sign it. I am not with many conservatives on this issue. I don't believe that it is infringing upon any rights to do this. It is a distraction when you're driving, and I think it ought to be banned. I have seen a mother bury her daughter because she was texting and driving. Right. So it's an emotional issue, and I think that this shouldn't have a right and left component to it.
Is it governing, Mustafa, micromanaging and just in general? Is that what we do when we govern?
Did you say something? I was texting.
Put that down. Okay. We're in the middle of a
segment. Oh, sorry. Look, I never understood why this is a problem for Governor Perry when he was in office, and why this was a problem for candidate Abbott, because it makes no sense to me. We have seen accidents go up in number over the years because of texting. I think we're hitting a point where at some point there are going to be more accidents because of texting than there are because of drunk driving. And studies indicate that texting while driving is as bad as drunk driving. So I don't understand. I don't understand the big push on this. The $1,000 fine is excessive, but I think that's part of
the jail time that I have a problem with.
Well, I think that once we start talking about it in a reasonable way, we will get a legislation that'll be more balanced.
Right. Sally, we're going to go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media. I don't want to have something like that where I might go to jail because I'm a serial violator of that law.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a look at what folks on our social media pages are saying. This is on Twitter. Representative Jean Wu there. This is from testimony earlier in the week. They expect, researchers do, a 3% fatality reduction with the texting ban, which would equal 90 lives saved per year in Texas. This guy, Ryan, says Governor Abbott said in February he would be open to signing the ban, a very different stance than Perry. And then he also adds, I wonder if Governor Abbott thinks Texas is being Californianized with the bill. What do you think about that?
That certainly could be. You know, I never saw Governor Abbott say that he would be open to signing this bill. I've only seen him.
I think he said that he would be open to looking at it and reviewing it versus, no, it's a straight veto.
All right. Well, I missed that one because all I've heard is the argument that it would be micromanaging the people of Texas. And I agree with Debbie and Mustafa that it's time to micromanage on an issue like this. And if it's going to save lives, that's exactly the type of law that the governor should be signing. But I think, Debbie, it's in keeping with what he's been saying since he took office, and that's we don't want to be actually, I'm sorry, it's not in keeping with what he said, because he took office and said the state needs to take control over issues and take it away from local governments. And that's really kind of inconsistent, isn't it?
It seems to be. It seems to be. But again, you know, I think that it would be a mistake for him not to sign it. I think he needs to sign it. This is a safety issue. You know, there's liberty and then there's safety, and I, for one, don't want to be on the road when somebody's texting. I don't think it's a good idea for people to do it, and sometimes they need to be told what to do.
Do you think the governor is looking at this as a political issue, and I don't want to appear non-conservative and sign this bill? Is that what it is?
Look, at this point, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that similar arguments were there when there were seatbelt issues, when we started putting them on. Then there were similar arguments to this when we were required to put child safety seats in our cars. People said this was infringing their rights. Why should they have to pay extra to have seats there? But looking back,
I can just throw my arm in front of my kid.
Absolutely. And looking back in the decades, what I think about is the number of lives that have been saved because we put seatbelts on, because we have child safety seats. So at this point, the legislature needs to do the right thing, which is put this bill back and then pass it, and the governor needs to do the right thing and signing it. And also, you know, it needs to be sensible legislation.
And the problem is, as we know, in Texas with a 120-day session, if they pass these things, they're out of session before when the governor vetoes it. You can never override a governor's veto in Texas at the end of the session.
Right, right.
And so if this doesn't get through, then I mean, if it does get through and he vetoes it, we're at least another 2 years before we can bring it up again.
Right.
Look, this session has got a lot of bills coming through. This is one that should have the least amount of controversy and should get through.